love changes lives when it shows up consistently.
So in 2009, we all went to Uganda. There was a big group of us, and it was fantastic. It was amazing. Look at that little baby Kristen and Bill up there. And just like Andrea, we got to go to a home of a young lady named Gift. What an amazing name, right? First of all, Gift, and that's her family. So we got to go hang out at their house, and they were bringing us gifts that, I know that they needed for themselves, right? Same situation. There's no running water. There's no electricity. The real truth is, to get water, it's at least 1 to 2 miles every day walking with buckets. Think about how much water we use. Think about buckets. And that was their real story every day. That was a piece of their life. And we got to experience that for a day. And then we kind of went on. We moved on to other things. So in the meantime, Bill and I kept up our mission trips, and we were going to Nicaragua, and we were going to the Philippines several times, and we liked it. But the question that Andrea was mentioning was really ringing in our heads, like, what are we doing? What difference are we making? Really, what difference are we making? A week after we leave, I'm sure some of the smiles have faded. A month after we leave, the supplies that we've taken are gone. And then what? What is the difference that we're doing here other than getting to travel to other countries? And I love mission trips. I'm not saying don't ever take them. But for us, that was the question that kept nagging at us over and over again. In the meantime, Andrea's focused on this foundation, and I'm like, that's not my story. I'm not starting a foundation. So time went on, and about a decade after we took that picture with Gift and her family, I got an email. Because you see, when we visited her family that day, I'd taken a little journal and given it to her, and I put my email address in the back of it. I didn't think anything about it. No electricity. They have I think 5 computers in the entire town, right? In that little computer center at the most, and you had to pay to use them. So people didn't get online. They weren't emailing people. So I kind of put it there, and then I walked away and went on with my life until I got the email from Gift. And Gift updated me on her life, and it wasn't good. There was a lot of things going on that were very culturally normal in that area for a young lady like Gift, and she only had one ask. She said, I just want to learn. I want an education. Think about the education that we all have and how much we take it for granted. We do. We take it for granted. In Uganda, you can go to elementary school, but you still have to pay by giving supplies to the classroom. So especially in the poorer villages, if the kids cannot provide supplies, they get kicked out of school. They don't get to come to just school without contributing, because there's no PTA, the government's not subsidizing anything. So that's the cost, and a lot of kids start dropping out young because honestly, they can benefit their family better by selling bananas on the street corner, which we saw a lot of 12-year-olds doing, and not in school. By the time you get to middle and high school, you are actually paying to attend school, which again, isn't possible for a lot of families. And that's the hole that Gift was starting to find herself in, is she couldn't have an education. So by then, Rukundo was really starting to crank. Andrea's got boots on the ground, they're doing their thing, and I'm like, dude, I just got this email from Gift. Can you find out if this story is true? Is she really struggling? What's going on with her? Andrea sent her people in, and it's true. Gift is struggling, just wants an education. You know what she wanted to be? A nurse. That was her dream. I want to be a nurse. So they did academic testing. That girl is off the charts. She's ticking every box. The only thing she needed was a sponsor. She just needed help. So I go, okay, Andrea, you want me to send this kid to college? Honestly, we couldn't afford to send our 3 kids to college. They worked, they paid for their own classes. We couldn't do it in the United States in college, right? College in Uganda, for her to live and have room and board, safety, which is really important for her, and an education was $105 a month, right? $105 a month for a nursing degree? Are you kidding me? So we were like, sign us up, let's do this thing. And this beautiful little gift became a nurse, right? Look at her looking so fine in her nursing outfit. So it was for us that answered that question, like, we didn't need to keep traveling and keep experiencing that. Our bucket had been filled there, but we were able to make a difference in just one life, and that one life is now impacting her community and her family just because we said yes. So it's been a great journey. Thank you for opening the door for us to be able to do this for her. It's really been a treat.
Thank you,
Thank
Kristen.
you. Okay.
So thanks to Kristen for sharing that story. I mean, folks, that's what happens when love shows up and it stays. And that brings us to our second point. You can write in your little book. It goes right along with the main idea. It's love is consistent. But I told you that's what we want to remember for today. So starting something isn't the hardest part, right? But staying is. And so let's go to Galatians 6:9. Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest. And this is the if we do not give up. Consistent love, the kind of love that changes the world, it does not give up. We live entirely countercultural to that statement. We move on quickly. When things get uncomfortable, we pivot. When things get hard, we go find something new. But over and over in the Bible, God uses ordinary, imperfect people who simply don't and will not quit. I'm not someone with a wealthy network of donors. I'm from Southern West Virginia. I don't have unlimited time. I work a full-time job at the NIH. This is all volunteer. I am a girl from Campbell's Creek, West Virginia, who said yes when God invited me to write a better story for my life. And I credit Journeys Crossing for that. Thank you, Mark. There are many moments in the last 12 years, daily, if I'm honest. Uganda is a very hard country to work in. It's very corrupt, where I would have like to quit. But when you look into the eyes of little girls, like the ones on the screen who depend on you to stay, you stay. And that's what we're doing with Facundo. And that brings us to the best part, the happy part. Sorry, I have my Kleenex because we all know I'm a crier. So the next thing to write in your book and the last thing is love multiplies. When love shows up consistently in one life, and I see this every single day, and you can apply this in Montgomery County or in Kabale, Uganda, it never stops there. It doesn't. In Matthew 25:40, it says, whatever you did for what? One. Whatever you did for one, God might not be calling you to affect 3,000 lives in Uganda, but he is calling us to love the people in our sphere and love them well. Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. One sponsored child, they impact their siblings. They go back, they pay school fees for the other ones. Their families stabilize, and over time, we're seeing it in real life, entire communities can and will change. And this is not a rescuing thing. This is not because you're rescuing or saving someone, but just giving that partnership the tools, the finances they need to stay on the right course, just like yes, just saying, I believe in you, and I'm gonna come alongside you and your family who already loves you and who already supports you, but just doesn't have the means to, maybe take that next step. And this is just one way, guys. We're not pressuring anyone today. This is one way to practice agape love. You can apply that to any part of your life. But one way to practice it is child sponsorship, because it's partnering with a child and their family for the long haul, and that kind of stability can and will change lives.
super happy to be here, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my guy, David. So, as she mentioned, I've never been to Uganda. Just been coming to, I don't know if you know this, but every year, Rukundo puts on a silent auction. And I've been attending that for 7 years now. And the first year, I actually was here, was out in the lobby, and I'm looking at some of the items to bid on, and I just happened to walk by the table that had children to sponsor. And I thought, oh, well, I'll just, kind of look to see what's going on. First one I picked up was David. I looked down, started reading his profile. Class clown. Love sports. I thought I was looking at my profile. And in that moment, God did something in me. And I said yes. In that moment, I said yes. So my guy David, literally for 7 years, my wife and I have been sponsoring David. And let me just say, it is a joy to just see the smile on his face when we get the pictures and we get the things and we get to know him. Like, we know David. Never been there, never met him in person, but we know David. During COVID, the schools in Uganda closed for about 2 years. And David, of course, the school's closed, he's at home. His mother's disabled. David started collecting bottles to help his family. And so 2 years later, when the schools reopened, David wasn't sure if he was even going to go back to school. His teachers, his counselors encouraged him. And I'm happy to say that David is back in school, and he is absolutely thriving. So we are so grateful. And he has been such a big part of our story. So even though we are a part of his story, he is just as much a part of our story. And our girls, when we get together, when we're in the same household, which isn't very often now because they're older, but we love to do videos. We're so excited to do videos. And we send them to Andrea so she can get them to David. And we get things from David. We get pictures from David. And we were so excited and so blessed to be able to bless David. Think about it, $35 a month. Gets 2 meals, an education. And we were so excited, and he's been such a big part of our story and our family that we decided that love is going to multiply. And so we decided we're going to sponsor another child. So we now sponsor David. We sponsor Darlene. So Darlene is now becoming another part of our story and another part of our life. And again, when we receive just knowing, like they like to dance, what they like to do, being a part of it and getting to know them has been absolutely incredible. And it's all because David was a class clown. No, I'm kidding. It's all because I said yes. We said yes to David, yes to Darlene. And we're blessing others with what we've been blessed with. And we are so excited to be a part of that. And I encourage you to be a part of that, to say yes. So, Andrea, thank you.
Thank you.
For everything you do. Thank you for bringing David and Darlene into our lives. Can't thank you enough.
Thanks, Kevin.
So.
Wow. I mean, again, ordinary people, just like me and you. And I'm not here, again, to guilt or pressure anyone. If sponsorship is not for you, that's okay. We can always use your prayers. We need volunteers. And maybe you're just called to give in an entirely different way, and that's okay. But if you've ever wondered what it looks like to love one child consistently, to learn from them,
this is one way to practice true agape love. So if you're feeling that nudge this morning, I just ask that you don't ignore it.